Okay, kids, we're back, and I only have so much time. I only have like 29 minutes to bore you. Let's see. So I use this software site, and it picks up all the MAC addresses, all the Bluetooth devices in my vicinity, or it can pick up the MAC addresses, all the Bluetooth site in your vicinity. Okay, and it tells you everything. You know, it tells you their BSSID, which is just a fancy word for their MAC address. Okay. It tells you their SSID, which is just a fancy word for their Wi Fi name. And you can name your Wi Fi name anything. You can name it Joe Blow is a hot daddy, whatever. I mean, you can name your Wi Fi name anything, okay? And anyway, this is all the shite that I found in my area. You know, I found in Blobia, my Altice, which is involved with Optimum. I've had internet with Optimum and I've had the internet with Verizon. I no longer have internet with them, but I'm familiar with their shite, because I had internet with them. My Altice is Optimum. And then Netgear, we see Netgear a lot. And I don't know what this is. And then we see FiOS. FiOS is Verizon, Verizon FiOS. We see Optimum Wi-Fi. That's Optimum Internet. FiOS, FiOS. A lot of Verizon and Optimum Internet shite, right? Usually the ones that say FiOS is like the real internet, and then these other little guys are probably like cell phones, you know. I've been just doing the shite for a long time, so I kind of know. Um, then there's Polanco Net, Netgear. Anyway, some chick named Serena. Shout out to Serena, wherever she is. What up, Serena? So, and then it also gives the GPS coordinates of these devices. Okay, it gives the GPS coordinates. It didn't I teach you kids? Did I teach you how to look up your GPS coordinates and all that shit? That's why I was teaching you all that garbage, even though you seem like it's kind of boring. I was teaching you how to look up GPS coordinates for a reason, And then it will give you the GPS coordinates of all these devices. Moto G, Direct, Direct HP, DeskJet. That's a printer. Okay, I know for sure that's a printer. I mean, I could Google if you want me to prove it to you. And then it shows the MAC address, the printer, and the MAC address, the printer, and the MAC address, and then it shows the GPS coordinates. Okay, so let's do the printer just for fun. This seems exciting, right? Like, so we put the MAC address into Google. Okay, wow. So I don't know. We could also do Mac vendor lookup. Let's do Mac vendor lookup. Maybe we can find out. Maybe we can find out what kind of device it is. Mac vendor lookup. Okay. Okay. If we can't, screw it. Okay, it's a Hewlett Packard. Okay, so it is a Hewlett Packard. It's a Hewlett Packard printer. Okay. Now I don't have any printers in my apartment. I just should mention that. Like, I have no printers in my apartment, right? Like, no printers are in my apartment. I have no such thing, right? Like, so, and I definitely don't have any Hewlett Packard devices, as far as I know of. So it's a Hewlett Packard printer. Okay, look at that. Okay, and then once you put the MAC address into Google, you could also look at where it's routing to as well. You know where it's routing to, and you can look at where it's routing to as well. The same shit you do with the GPS address. Look at all the stuff it's routing to. Okay, you can go under images, look under images, and all that shit. Anyway, I've done that a million times. We'll be here forever, right? So, and then and then uh, and then we could also look at the GPS coordinates. We could put the GPS coordinates into Google in that while. So let's put them into Google, and then do comma, space, minus sign, and then do this, right? Control C, and we pasted it in there. Okay, and then go under all. Okay, wow. Now it's not showing anything now, which is cool. We won't panic. It's not showing anything. It's a direct. It's a direct OC desktop jet computer thingamajiggy, right? Okay, so it's not saying anything, but that's okay. We can fix it. Oh, we put two minus signs in there. That might be why. Okay, try it again. Oh, there we go. Aha. Okay, and then we could also look up the name of the printer. Okay, so it might give us the image of what the printer looks like. In this while, I got all this shite from a app. Wow, so that's what the printer looks like. Yeah, I definitely don't have a white looking Hewlett Packard printer that looks like that. That's what it looks like. It's like one of these images here. Okay, and then do the same thing. I talked to you about the GPS addresses. Look at where you're going to. Let's go under maps. Maybe we can figure out where this printer is. Where is this printer? Because I don't own any printers, right? Like, no offense, but I don't own any printers. Wow, where is this printer? So that is wild, right? It's a printer. Let's put it in. So if we go in on on this thing, right? Now, this is my cell phone back here. This is my apartment back here. I live in this big orange building, right? Now the printer seems to be over here. I don't know. Look at that, isn't that wild? The printer seems to be over here. Okay. And then you remember I gave you like a little thing showing you where I live. And then if you go back here, there's like a homeless shelter right here. This building is a homeless shelter. And then if you go back here, right, that's an NYPD police station back there. Okay. Kind of giving you a little view of what my neighborhood looks like. Okay. And then if you go down here, There's another apartment building right here. It looks almost like the building I live in. It's like a big orange building. And then if you go back here, there's a school. There's Highbridge Green School right here. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you. So that's interesting, right? And then we could go back. That's wild, huh? So you could pick up, trying to get it to go back. You can pick up where you're being routed to. Isn't that wild? So you go under maps. Did they hide maps on me on purpose? They said, we'll hide maps from Rose because she's getting too good at the shite. Ah, well, look at that. Okay. All right. So that's interesting, right? So the printer, I mean, it might be coming from some other apartment around me, or it might be coming from one of these cars outside. There are like a bunch of cars parked around the building, and there's a bunch of cars going down the road. And like my apartment building, all right, it's right next to a major expressway, so you can access. I mean, this is what they call it where I come from. You can access the interstate from from my neighborhood. There's a big major street here, and you go down this road and all this shite, and you can access the a major highway right here, right, and get on the interstate and go wherever, go to downtown Wall Street or go to Connecticut. Um, so it's a major highway. I live right by a major highway, and then over here there's like an abandoned. I think there's like an abandoned train station or some kind of shit here, and then over here is the Harlem River, you know, and I'm in the Bronx. And then if you cross the Harlem River, right? If you cross the Harlem River, you'll be in Manhattan, you know. You'll be right across. If I swam across the Harlem River, I would be in Manhattan, and like Columbia University is like right across the Harlem River from where I live, Um, so anyway, kind of give me a layout of my neighborhood. So that is wild, huh? And then you could look at all the places this shite is routing you to. So let's do another one just for fun. Uh, let's do let's do your girl Sharina. See what Sharina's doing. Yeah, let's do Sharina. Okay, maybe we could figure out where Sharina, or we could do the Netgear one. All of these seem interesting. Maybe we'll do your girl Sharina. Figure out where she is. Where is your girl Sharina? Let's see. Minus sign. Okay. And then, wow, it kind of froze a little bit. Copy this one. We're just going to do one more because it takes a while to do it. And then do this. Are we running out of time? We have 9 minutes left. Okay. We have 9 minutes left. Oh, I don't know how I ended up with two. Okay. Oh, that's because when you copy it, it adds an extra minus sign. Okay, that makes sense now. Duh. Okay. And then we could look at where Sharina is. Look at the map. Because my name isn't Sharina. No offense. If there's anyone that lives out there, your name is Sharina. Look at that. Now this one seems to be coming from over here. Like kind of like in the middle of the building, right here. Look at that. That is wild. Isn't that wild? So anyway, you could like geolocate where these people are coming from. There's all kinds of shit you can do, but I don't have time. I don't think I have enough time to do it all. See, I have 14 minutes. Okay, and you could take the MAC address as well and put the MAC address into Mac vendor lookup. You know, Mac vendor lookup. And then we can paste it into there. It goes to D-Link International. Okay, so D-Link is a company I believe that does the internet or some kind of shit, right? Like, wow. It goes to D-Link International. Wow, so we could copy D-Link International, Control C. You can find out what kind of devices these people are using. D-Link International. Ooh, what is D-Link International? Oh, wow. Look at that. It's a leading global networking equipment manufacturer founded in 1986, specializing in consumer small office SOHO and SOHO and enterprise networking surveillance. Huh. Based in Taiwan. Wow. Okay. That's wild. And then we could log into D-Link. That's okay. I don't want to. We could log into LinkedIn. I mean, wow. And then it's located in Taiwan. Then we can click here. We can find out who these parcels are. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Okay, we'll just say yes, yes, and yes. Okay, close. All right, we accepted all their shite so we can look at their shite. Wow, that's wild, huh? D-Link. Look at that. Wait, industry. Wow. So it doesn't look like it's an internet company. I don't know. I have to look the company up. That is wild. D-Link for industry. Wow. Industrial switches. That's wild. Shop support. So maybe they do the internet or maybe they do the internet for the home. I don't know. Like if they're like Verizon and they have home internet, I don't know. Like to me, it just looks like they create products for the internet. Yeah, it looks like they create products for the internet to me. It doesn't look like they actually have an internet service like Verizon. I mean, I could be wrong. That is wild, huh? Wow. Anyway, D-Link partner access. Wow. Industrial switches, smart home, cameras, accessories. Just trying to figure out what kind of shite they do for business. Okay. Wow. Routers. Anyway, interesting, right? Oh, well, let's stay right here for a second. Smart industry, smart city. Can we click on this? Smart industry? Wow. 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 Okay. That is wild. So some kind of shite about smart city. How many minutes we got? We got 9 minutes. We better hurry up before the clock strikes 12. Wow. That is wild. Anyway, I can be here forever trying to figure out who they are, so we'll just move on. But it gives you an idea of how you can look up all the people in your vicinity, and you know, yeah, there's an app that can looks up. It looks up all the people around your GPS coordinates. These are actually my GPS coordinates. All these coordinates you see in here, and then there's a method to my madness, right? And it also shows the MAC address and all that shit, right? And then if you go on Sabrina Wallace's stuff on Odyssey, right? Okay, she shows how implants are involved with MAC addresses and all that shit, right? Like, yeah, she's a smart lady. Hopefully, it will play. Okay.
Because I'm having some lighting issues, not quite sure why I'm working on it. To get the PDF or open it up on your screen in a second window so that you can read and see what I am referring to. Okay, so MAC
And she mentions crystallography. Remember, I told you how crystallography is involved in it?
IDs and crystallography. Now, one of the most important components of discussing MAC IDs for me has been that y'all out there sent people to the graveyard to find Bluetooth signals, and I thought, what are you doing? MAC addresses, media access control, are roughly as old as Ethernet tech, with the first standards established in the early 1980s. Okay. Based on the Xerox network systems and IEEE 802 specs, these hardware identifiers have been in use for over 40 years to uniquely identify network interfaces. Now, on Buma's JPEG, you'll notice there's a body area network here. That's because a network interface now includes the different parts of the wireless body area network. So it's not just a card anymore. It's just a computer anymore, or else your wireless earbuds wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. That's why I got so mad at people when they're like, what is a MAC ID? I'm so dumb. Wait till you find out how important they are to the...
So, Sabrina Wallace, she invented a lot of this technology. So she's very intelligent, and she's talking about how the MAC addresses are involved with the body area network. She's saying, if you use one of those wireless earbuds, they have a MAC address and they connect to Bluetooth, you know. So she's very smart. She knows this shite better than I do.
to the whole internet and how it runs. To communicate or transfer data from one computer to another, we need an address. In computer networks, various types of addresses are introduced and each works at a different layer. A MAC address, which stands for Media Access Control, is a physical address that works at the data link layer. I have an MDPI article we're going to open during the presentation because there's the body area network connected to the Wi-Fi. Now, the OSI, Open Systems Interconnected Layers. I've had to teach the people.
Anyway, she's a very smart lady.
Placing stones on either side of that to drive energy out.
So she knows the internet even more than I do. Yeah, she knows the internet even more than I do. I mean, she really knows her shite, right? So you could take a MAC address, like I said, you could take a MAC address and you could look it up, You could look it up on the internet and see where it goes to and all that shit. And yeah, MAC addresses are connected to body air networks, according to Sabrina Wallace, and she invented a lot of this technology. Um, she's very smart. She's got a lot of training in this shit, a lot more than I do. So, like, a MAC address, you know, can connect to, say, if this was my phone, it's not my cell phone, but say if this was my cell phone and that's my MAC address and that's my GPS coordinates, which these are my real GPS coordinates. All of these are my GPS coordinates. Okay. All right. Say if this is my cell phone, 3A1A60. It's not my cell phone, but say if it was, and that's my MAC address, it could connect to my implants and all that shit. Yep. That's basically what she's trying to tell you. You know, she's very smart. She's much smarter at this shite than I am. Anyway, you guys have a good day or a good night, okay? Bye.